Bem-vindos à Colorize Media. Estivemos em Ponta Delgada para a CIRCOM 2017, onde as redes sociais foram o tema principal. O vice-presidente da CIRCOM, Hubert Lacroix, falou-nos sobre a escolha dos speakers para esta conferência.
Este ano a conferência foi nos Açores, pela primeira vez, no sítio mais ocidental da Europa, e a nossa preocupação na organização da conferência, enquanto hostes, foi também dar um contributo de elevação da qualidade das intervenções e do conteúdo, porque, a nosso entender, é de facto o conteúdo de uma conferência que atrai e eleva o nível da conferência. Daí que este ano nós tivéssemos tido, no primeiro e no segundo dia, 2 keynote speakers de abertura de grande qualidade. No primeiro dia, o presidente da CBC, da Canadian Broadcasting, o Sr. Hubert Lacroix, foi o keynote speaker da sessão de abertura. É uma personalidade de grande qualidade no mundo da televisão, dos média, a nível mundial. Ele nos últimos 10 anos fez uma grande revolução na CBC, na Canadian Broadcasting. Ele fez de facto a revolução do digital na CBC. É um grande lutador do serviço público. Esteve debaixo de fogo do governo conservador que cortou substancialmente o financiamento do serviço público e, de facto, conseguiu passar essa dificuldade com um plano de grande contenção e de grande redução, e hoje a CBC é um exemplo de grande operador de qualidade no mundo digital da televisão em todo o mundo. Hoje tivemos o diretor executivo digital, segundo dia da conferência, o diretor executivo digital da Jazeera, que veio do Qatar. Portanto, são duas visões de fora da Europa, uma do Canadá, outra do Qatar, nesse caso de um operador global, de um global player, de uma cadeia mundial de notícias, da Jazeera, que nos veio trazer exatamente a sua perspectiva de como uma cadeia de notícias à escala mundial está preocupada com a presença nos social media e como atrair os públicos mais jovens para um canal que é temático de notícias e que naturalmente é mais difícil de conquistar o público mais jovem.
A CIRCOM 2017 contou com a presença de vários speakers. O nosso destaque vai para Hubert Lacroix da CBC Radio Canadá e para Yaser Bishr da Jazeera com o projeto AJ+.
Actually, what we did a few years ago is we inverted the priorities. We went from television, radio, the web and mobile to mobile, web, radio and television, and that's been a shock to our organization, but a good one. I like RAD a lot because what we did is we asked about 25 young journalists, web writers, designers, to actually try to tell the news in a different way, to talk about affairs of every day that you would normally find spoken and written about in our traditional ways. But we said, we challenged them, we put them in a lab, and that lab just created its first content. It's actually a couple of weeks old, and it's rad.ca, and you can find it anywhere. And it's about showing information and talking about information in a completely different way. And what we've said is we're no longer targeting 18 to 34-year-olds. We think that it's more about the digital citizens. It's about including them in the conversation instead of trying to figure out what they're doing in their own little corner, because they're no longer in the corner. They're literally part of every day. So when we talk about stories that are important to us, they're also important to the 18 to 34 years olds. We have to find a way to tell the story for them to get interested in, and we have to find the platform that they're on to listen to that story. But basically, it's again a story that will go to them, but to anybody who enjoys being in a digital environment. So it's not about age anymore, it's about content, and it's about targeting people that are interested in getting their content in a different way.
I think it's the mission of all broadcasters or media companies is to reach everybody. And so, we all understand that the TV viewers are getting older. Linear TV, as we know it, is not going to survive for a very long time, except for, as I always say, breaking news, event that's broadcasted live. But now you see Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live, so they're taking over that back. And so, we have to reach the audience, and the way to reach the audience is not to bring them and ask them to come to you and turn on the TV, but to go where they are and have a conversation, try to convince them to come to you. And that's what we're doing. Phase 1 and Phase Plus was very successful, but I don't think it's the end of the story. I think we have to continue to convince the audience to come to our platform because there's something better there. right? And this is the next big challenge for us. And so for us to be able to get there and convince the audience they need to come to us to have better experience, we have to invest in these 5 elements that I mentioned. That's artificial intelligence, that's AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. That's the bots and the analytics, conversational UI, interface that you talk to, have a conversation with. It's going to be very intelligent. It's going to be much more intelligent than Siri, that you can have a conversation. It will tell you things that you haven't known before and all that. So this is, us as content providers. At the end of the day, whether you are to provide news or provide movies or documentaries, content providers, you have to master this kind of capabilities so you can deliver to the new generation. It's the way we design the teams and the way we produce the video. Watch Asia Plus videos if you haven't, and you will see that Asia Plus videos are really kind of the ones that we play on Facebook are different than the ones we play on YouTube. And it's targeted to the Facebook audience, not only in terms of the content, but the style of the video. And also we have engagement teams. They engage with the audience in conversations on Facebook and Twitter. And that brings back people. And when we have competition for people to come and visit us in our newsrooms and all that, that kind of things, people like to engage, millennials like to engage. And when you respond to someone made a comment, imagine yourself write someone, to somebody famous and he responds or she responds to you. It will encourage you to come back. And this is exactly what we're doing in Asia Plus.
João Pedro Galveias apresentou o projeto RTP Arena, um projeto inovador dentro do universo RTP.
A RTP Arena é uma plataforma nova, nova do ano passado, desde maio do ano passado, da RTP, que está a tentar desenvolver ou ajudar a desenvolver o panorama dos esportes em Portugal. O nosso grande objetivo, obviamente, é conseguir chegar junto de uma audiência que naturalmente não está já perto da televisão tradicional. Essa audiência é uma audiência jovem, uma audiência entre os 18 e os 25 anos, maioritariamente masculina, e que é bastante apetecível para algumas áreas do mercado e é apetecível, obviamente, para nós, para conseguirmos impactar essa audiência, estar lá. E, portanto, o nosso objetivo é promover esta área dos desportos eletrónicos em Portugal. Estamos a construir parcerias internamente e externamente, trabalhar com a EBU, que é a Eurovisão, para também trabalhar com os nossos colegas internacionais. E o nosso grande objetivo para este ano é conseguir, junto de alguns agentes do mercado nacional, nomeadamente da área comercial, promover uma marca nacional de esportes que organiza eventos e torneios, e também, junto da EBU, promover para o ano que vem um grande Eurovision eSports Masters, que poderia ser muito interessante. Também para conseguir isto temos que ter muitas preocupações na área do licenciamento dos conteúdos. Temos também ter preocupações em conseguir estar com parcerias junto de onde o público está, nomeadamente estar no Twitch, que é uma das maiores plataformas mundiais. Nós, de um potencial de 500 mil pessoas que tipicamente em Portugal estariam atentas a este tipo de fenómenos, acho que conseguimos ter números interessantes, pelo menos 300 mil já estão tido contacto com os nossos programas. Semanalmente, 50 mil pessoas vêm em média ao programa, que dá à 1 da manhã. Portanto, também o projeto tem um programa televisivo na RTP1. Portanto, acho que estamos a conseguir chegar e somos reconhecidos como intervenientes na área, junto dos restantes agentes, digamos assim, do mercado. Em Portugal há equipas de todos estes desportos, os principais desportos, do League of Legends, CSGO. Dota 2 é menos popular em Portugal, mas Hearthstone também é muito popular, portanto há várias equipas. Não são profissionais no sentido total da palavra, mas são semi-profissionais, digamos. Já têm um empenho grande. E há vários torneios que são organizados já por entidades com alguma dimensão. Por exemplo, ainda há pouco tempo houve em Lisboa um torneio chamado 4Gamers, integrado no Iberanim, Lisboa, que já teve um nível de prémios interessante, teve bastantes pessoas a participar, portanto as coisas estão a começar a acontecer. Agora, eu acho que só vai aumentar, não me parece que vai diminuir. Acho que isto, nos próximos 2 anos, vamos ter uma evolução muito grande nesta área.
City Producer, sabe o que é? Uma aplicação para telemóveis que vai revolucionar o mercado.
So City Producer is an app that runs on iPhone, was designed by TV professionals. That's important. So we know the hardware is amazing, but the workflow to use the iPhone on the field is not good enough, So we designed something which is in one app and take care of everything for the mobile journalist. In the same application, you can shoot with all the professional features of a camera. You can edit content with all the professional features of a professional editing tool, and you can share it, post it, transfer it to either social media network, your TV station, or even directly to a computer with Final Cut Pro, all in one app. Only on iOS, because we depend on the hardware capacity and speed, and the processor has to be known. So yeah. So we worked 3 years on that, and it will be on the market worldwide the 21 of June. That means in 4 weeks from now. It's a subscription model. That means it's made for professional, for people who has to deliver every day. So it's a 690 euro a year. That means 2 euro a day for a camera, editing station, live transmission system, multi-camera, with all the support, the Dropbox account, and all the new features which will come over the months. The motivation, Bertrand owns a TV station, and he has a small crew and not a lot of money. And he thought he didn't produce enough, and people were exhausted, because they had to choose material, go in a car, shoot, come back to the TV station, edit, and at the end of the day, they produce 2 to 3 minutes content. So it was not enough, and people were exhausted. With this today, and this is the truth, they produce 5 times more, and they stay happy. You edit faster on the iPhone than on a computer. Sounds strange, but it's the truth. So it's easy to organize your project and to make 5 different things a day, still keeping a smile, because you can produce a final content which looks the way you want and is professional. Thanks to the evolution of the hardware, this is a more powerful processor than a computer of today. We have to follow this, but you need the right application, giving the users the right tools and the right workflow to do that.
Para a presidente da CIRCOM, esta foi uma organização perfeita com speakers de nível mundial.
I think it's fantastic that we get together in CIRCOM Regional for the 35th time to share our common challenges from all over Europe. We have so much in common. We are here, we are more than 160 delegates from 30 countries present here. We come from all corners of Europe, and we really see that even though we are kind of on different levels in the digital change, the change in the habits of our audiences, we still see the same, all of us, that we have to make this change to new screens, because traditional TV isn't any longer what people go for. At least if they're younger than 50, 60, then you definitely know that they go for their mobile phones, they go to get their programs on demand, and that's it. So that's really what we've been discussing from different views. We've had speakers we have had a speaker from Canada, from Al Jazeera Plus. We're learning from each other, we're sharing practices. It's the digital challenge and the fact of that we have to transform from being regional television to be on all new screens where people are. I think there will be changes. In some countries could be big changes, in others small. I think that you sort of get new ideas because we don't do it the same way everywhere and we're not on the same level. And as I say, we have our differences. So I think it's very different from person to person, delegate to delegate, what you sort of take in. But I'm quite convinced that this conference has given everybody something new to think about, something new to take back home, and hopefully very useful ideas for their own stations. We haven't really decided the theme for the next year's conference. The only thing we know is that it's going to be in the Netherlands, in the north, in the Friesland, that has its own culture and language and everything. But we are going to discuss and decide later this year what the theme will be, and then we work on to find the best speakers for next year.
Foi com grande prazer que estivemos em Ponta Delgada nestes últimos dias. A CIRCOM irá rumar a norte e no próximo ano será na Holanda.